Good evening, Kirk. Good evening. We are live. Good evening, guys. Thank you for popping in. I appreciate that. Hope everybody can hear me fine. It's a different setup than I had in the previous one, so hopefully it'll work well. Good evening, Jerry. Good to see you. Long time no see. Jason, thanks for joining us. Appreciate that. Well, thank you, Greg. It's a personal favorite of mine. I feel like I need some theme music, like some game show music to play in the background while I do this. Brian, good to see you. Robert, thanks for popping on. Daryl, good to be with you. I see my Grand Marshal is dutifully checked in. Thank you, sir. Somebody told me that they had heard that I'd canceled for tonight. I did not cancel. We are here. Yes, some Star Wars music would make it nice. Monty, good to see you. Oh, look. First Lady of Freemasonry's chimed in. I'm joining you guys here from my office. It's got a little bit better technical equipment than my laptop does, which is what I was on the last time we chatted from a hotel room. Um, but both of them work pretty good, I think. I thought last week looked pretty good, sounded pretty good. But this one's got a little bit bigger of a screen and a setup, and I kind of see what's going on. So, crab dip in the house. Joe, good to see you. All right, looking good. Little Van Halen music. Michael, good to see you. Columbia City, thanks for checking in. I see the Peruvian Prince is with us. Chano, thank you for being here. Jim Marion, hello, hello. While I'm doing this, I see some metrics of like who's on here, and I saw we were like up to like 70 people, I think, already, and then it dropped back down to 68. So a couple of them must have popped on and saw me and went, I don't think so. Click. Merle, good to see you. Tom, I'm a grand steward, and Tyler's on. Jim, thanks for being here. Dennis, my grandfather has joined. Good to see him on here. Todd, good to see you. Thanks for being here. Bridgeport 162 in the house. J Lodge 87, fantastic. Alamo 144. I remember the Alamo. I've been in the basement. Well, I hope you guys have had a chance to be out and about a little bit today. It was a beautiful day today. Um, Had a crazy week, but my wife was doing some work around the house, getting some flowers taken care of that she was hadn't had the time to deal with while we've been traveling, and so we've been out in the backyard and doing a little bit of work there, and Robert, I don't know if the YouTube feed is live. To be honest, I don't know how the back end of this stuff functions. I know how to get on here and sort of do it live here. I suppose maybe Darian could chime in and let us know how that works. I don't know if they're connected automatically. I don't do anything with that. So Waynedale Lodge, Noblesville, Columbia City, nice. All right. Well, we'll get rolling here. We got quite a few guys on, and I appreciate everybody joining here today and spending a little bit of time catching up here on a Sunday afternoon. See some lodges checking in. Salisbury 411. Excellent, excellent. So I wanted to first thing I wanted to say, you guys may have heard or maybe you saw it yourselves. The Grand Lodge website was down this morning, probably for I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 hours, something like that. We were doing some. We had to get some technical maintenance on the back end there, but we were able to get it back up and running. So if you tried to get on earlier today and you couldn't, that issue's been resolved and we got it taken care of. So everything's back up and running. And I did go in and check and look around, make sure that I could kind of get to the things that I needed to get to. And so you guys shouldn't have any trouble going forward. I appreciate the brother that reached out to me this morning and told me that was the case, so that we could kind of get on it right away. Our grand secretary, right away on a bright and early Sunday morning, jumped on it and got her fixed for us. So I much appreciate him taking the time to do that. It's just another example of how kind of what we do is a 24/7 kind of job in a lot of ways, and you got to be prepared to roll and fix and handle things as they pop up. And the website itself is very important to our secretaries and our members and accessing the files, and he didn't waste any time in getting that taken care of. So very nice turnaround on getting that fixed. So I appreciate everybody involved in that. Figured I would start out with a commodities report for you guys. We had a pretty busy week here this week, and I am pleased to announce that green beans was up to 3 in the commodities report this week, so still holding strong. Everybody still seems to hold a high value in the Masonic green bean. They've been prepared a number of ways, but actually they have all been delicious, and that's been fantastic. So I actually have eaten very well the last handful of days. So happy to make that commodities report for you and let you know what's going out there in the world of Grand Lodge feeding habits. Green beans are still up there. One of the first things we did this week was Wednesday. Oh, what would that have been? That would have been the 27th, Wednesday the 27th. The First Lady and I got invited to go to Libanus Lodge's Honored Ladies Night. And what a great event that was. We went out, they had it at a restaurant, this wonderful little restaurant called Oak and Barrel, I believe it was. And just this little sort of boutique kind of restaurant over there, and they had 40 plus people in attendance for this, and the meal was fantastic, and the program was respectful and kind of short and sweet. And First Lady and I were offered the opportunity to make some remarks, which we did. Worshipful Master Evan Macy and his daughter Tori were wonderful hosts. We just really had a great time out there. It's fantastic to see, that kind of attendance with these events. It just shows that there's still a love and a passion for Freemasonry and for, really kind of the sacred art of gathering, which is what we do a lot of the time, and the way that we fellowship is maybe unique in the world. And it was just a wonderful evening. It was also the first opportunity for the First Lady to roll out her ladies program, which was awesome. You'll probably hear more about it. I think we'll have it in the magazine here soon, and if you run into her, she's going to be talking about it as we go. The First Ladies Project this year is raising money for Ronald McDonald House in Indianapolis, which is a charity that is really close to our family's heart. And for $5,000, you can sponsor a room at the Ronald McDonald House for a full year, for 365 days. I'm pretty sure that our family has stayed there for at least that amount of time, if not longer, while our daughter was battling leukemia some years ago. And so we want to give back a little bit to that and have an opportunity to have Freemasonry make an impact in our local community. So we're hoping to just raise money to sponsor a room or multiple rooms at Ronald McDonald House, and just kind of give back to them, and as they give back to families who are in some of the toughest times of their lives. And it just really is an incredible charity. So if you go to gm2026.com, there is a donation link if you want to make a donation to the First Ladies Project. Donations of $50 or more will receive either a ladies brooch. We have these beautiful Phoenix ladies brooches, or a men's Phoenix tie bar. I'm actually going to put those on the website, as well as kind of specific elements you can donate and purchase. But right now it's just the donation link is up there. So if you want to go check that out, you can. Or if you run into us anywhere, if you're anywhere where we are, we will have those with us. You can see them, make a donation there. So anyways, that was the first opportunity for us to roll that program out at Libanus' Honored Ladies Night, and we had a huge response to it, which was fantastic. What a great start for her program. They were very generous, and we walked away with a significant donation amount, which I was very appreciative of. So thank you guys who were at the Honored Ladies Night, and Libanus Lodge, and Evan, and Bill Sassman. All you guys were just fantastic to us. So thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. Then on Friday night, the First Lady and I and several of the Grand Lodge officers made our way down to Noblesville Lodge, where we installed the officers of Bartimaeus Lodge UD. And we installed Worshipful Master Jerry Matlock. You guys may know Jerry. He was the Grand Steward in Tyler last year. Him and his wife Mary are just incredible people. And so he went in as Worshipful Master of Bartimaeus Lodge. And it was a real privilege to go down there. First of all, Noblesville Lodge is a beautiful lodge, so it's always great to be there with those guys. But we were able to get down there and perform that installation of officers, and it was just wonderful to be able to do that for Jerry and for all of the officers of Bartimaeus. Bartimaeus is a really kind of it's a very special, it's kind of a jewel of Indiana Freemasonry. We were one of the first, if not the first, to have a system to allow us to bring into Freemasonry good men who had a handicap. Prior to that, most states, all states maybe, had what they called the Doctrine of Perfect Health. And if you had a handicap of some sort, you could not become a Mason. And so Bartimaeus Lodge was started to help us sort of navigate that road and be able to bring in, people who had handicaps or injuries or disabilities that likewise would prevent them from maybe experiencing the ritual the way it currently is. And Bartimaeus allows us to be able to massage that and kind of make it work. And when it's done right, it's a spectacular thing for Indiana Freemasonry. And so those guys are great, and it was nice to be able to do that for them. They also had a wonderful meal there at the installation, and some nice desserts afterwards. Hummingbird cake, I didn't know what that was, but it was delicious. So yeah, that was a great event Friday night. So we had some rededications down in Huntingburg, or a rededication down in Huntingburg, which is all the way down kind of southern Indiana there, for Du Bois Lodge on Saturday morning. So we went down Friday for the installation of officers at Libanus, and then just continued on that evening on down to Huntingburg and to Du Bois Lodge. Stayed in a hotel down there that night, and then got up in the morning and did the rededication of Du Bois Lodge 520, which was a lot of fun. It was really great. That's, everybody in the Grand Lodge line are in new positions, and so this was our first rededication out of the gate in our new positions, and so always nerve-wracking to go out there and do something sort of green, as it were. Everybody learning new parts and kind of doing it, but they knocked it out of the park. They really did a good job. All of the officers should be commended, because I think it was. I think I was probably the only one who I made a couple mistakes. Hopefully that went unnoticed, but I think I was the only one maybe who had those hiccups. So all of those guys did a great job. Worshipful Master Casey Niemer and his lady Angie, they were fantastic hosts for us. And I think they enjoyed it. They had a great lunch afterwards at the Eagles Lodge, which is just a few blocks away, and the food was delicious. We eat a lot of banquet food and things like that along the road, but when it ends up being really good food, you're kind of pleasantly surprised. And that lunch was exceptional, and we had a great time there. At that rededication, which I don't know, you guys may not know, Du Bois Lodge is the home of past Grand Master Gail Kemp. And at that rededication, Gail made a presentation to honor his brother, who served in Vietnam, as I understand, and was just on an honor flight, which is a very cool thing. And so we had an opportunity. He was present, and he had an opportunity to congratulate him and show our respect for him and everything that he's done, and just have a moment to thank our first responders and our military for all the things that they do and providing the freedoms that really allow us to have Freemasonry. They allow us to have fraternity by granting us the freedoms that we have, or securing them, I should say. And so, Freemasonry is always very grateful for our military and our first responders for the things that they do. And this was just a nice opportunity in a public setting to really kind of recognize it. Worshipful Brother Mark Schaefer, also who was a Grand Marshal a couple of years ago, he actually, on behalf of the Scottish Rite, presented Du Bois Lodge with the Franklin Award of Distinction, which is an award from the Scottish Rite to recognize lodges who are doing a great job. And that was really nice to see. It was a nice presentation, and another wonderful thing for Du Bois Lodge there. I mean, to be celebrating 150 years of Freemasonry in your community is already huge. And to have these other things sort of accompany it, it made it for a really special afternoon for us while we were doing that. There was also, I was very happy to see that local media actually came to the rededication. A reporter, photographer came and watched the whole ceremony, took photos, and I expect that there probably will be a really nice article write-up down there in Du Bois County on that rededication. And that's the kind of thing that we should really work to do more of, to kind of get in the public eye and be visible and show them what we do and give them an opportunity to see. I mean, if you see the rededication ceremony, it's full of some really profound sentiments, and I think that it would dispel a lot of myths about Freemasonry if more public came and seen some of those ceremonies that we do. So it was great to see the local media there. And I got to hand it to Darian Coons, our PR and marketing director. He reaches out to the local media in the area and lines that up, and he just does such a great job of it. So I'm thankful for him and the job that he's doing. So I appreciate that. So. Mike Steele's asking me what kind of things do I collect. You can probably see on the shelves behind me in my office here. My wife won't let me keep this stuff at home, which is why it's at my office. But I like statues and figures, and you can see there's like some Rick and Morty stuff and some Star Wars stuff. There's some Transformers and some Marvel things, some comic books, and so I like to keep that stuff here at the office. Keeps me creative in what I do as a graphic designer. So. There's a Spider-Man statue. I can't turn the camera to show you all of it, but not that you want to see it. But that's what it is, Mike. So I appreciate you asking that. So, but anyway, so like I said, we went down there and we had a wonderful rededication out of the gate. It went really well. And then after that, First Lady and I traveled up to Terre Haute on Saturday afternoon and got to be present for the Valley of Terre Haute Scottish Rite's installation of officers. And again, first class event, wonderful meal there. It was really great to be there, and they gave me an opportunity to make remarks on behalf of the craft, which was much appreciated. And I just want to give a shout out to Joel, who invited us out there to come and be a part of that, and also Most Worshipful Randy Seipel and Greg Jordan, the actives for the area. They were there. And for them to allow us in their house and have a couple of moments to speak to the craft, I think is really nice. And they just treated the First Lady and I, it was red carpet treatment all the way, and it was wonderful. So thank you guys for that. Thank you, Valley of Terre Haute. Thank you, Du Bois Lodge and Libanus Lodge, for just giving us a wonderful handful of days of Freemasonry traveling across the state and letting us represent the craft. So it was very good. It's very good. So somebody had mentioned my shirt earlier, and you can see it's a purple shirt, Indiana Freemasonry on the one side, my name on the other. But the what I wanted to show you about is on the sleeve. You can kind of see here is the America 250 Indiana Masonic logo that we kind of designed. You probably saw it if you were at Annual Communication or Founders Day or on some of the things we've been doing. There's a beautiful little logo here, and we have actually asked the Masonic Beehive to make these shirts, these short sleeve button up shirts, which are really comfortable. And where you see the square and compass here, that's where that logo is. So we've got the 250th anniversary logo on the breast of a blue shirt, just like this purple one. And I wanted to just kind of bring that up because if you guys were interested, you can go to the Masonic Beehive's website. Maybe Darian can drop the link in the chat there for me. But you go to the Masonic Beehive's website and you can order those. And I just think it would be awesome if we had brothers all over the state wearing a shirt to celebrate that 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. So if you're interested in a shirt like this, they're available to you. She has them, and I'm sure she'd be happy to take your order and make that happen. No big deal, Chip, being late. Happy to have you here, late or not. So thank you for coming in. Okay, so last week I did a book review kind of for you. This week I wanted to do a little bit of Masonic show and tell. So I was given a gift at my installation, and it was so sort of above and beyond and spectacular that I wanted to share it with you guys because I just think that you would appreciate this, and I really just want to, in a very public way, thank the individual who made it for me. So I'll scoot back here so you can kind of see this. But so I had expressed to a good friend of mine, Most Worshipful Brother Bruce Bush, who was longtime secretary of Indiana Harbor Lodge and is now the secretary of Crown Martyrs Lodge, that I was looking for a special gavel, and he was asking me what I might want, and I said I really liked the themes of Memento Mori, and so I kind of expressed some ideas to him, and this is what he came up with. Now Bruce is fabulous at woodworking, and I wanted to show you that this is the case for the gavel, and he made all of this by hand. So this is the case for the gavel, and then the door opens up, and on the inside there's a little plaque that says some nice things to me, and you can see the gavel is inside, and this is a magnetic piece here that holds the gavel in place with a pair of magnets like that. You take that piece out, and then the gavel comes out. It's a monstrous gavel, but you can kind of see it's a column with a true gable-shaped gavel head on it, and then on the front of it is the skull for Memento Mori, and then you can see on the top of the column there's a green glass globe on there. So just really, I mean, it's a pretty amazing gavel, meaty and heavy, but what an incredible gift and what an incredible skill that Bruce has to be able to put this together. And Bruce, thank you so much for this. I'm just grateful for it. It's a fabulous thing, wrought by a master craftsman, and I'm very appreciative. So I thought you guys would appreciate seeing that. And like I said, I just wanted to sort of publicly say to Bruce, thank you so much for all the effort and time that you put into that, because it is spectacular. So another thing I wanted to let you guys know is we have, I say we, a couple of dedicated brothers. You may know them, Hal Bloss and Paul Maglinger from Reed Lodge, have redone all of the slides for all 3 degrees. And they look fabulous. So I know we all have been using the same slides, the same hand-painted slides that have been around since it seems like the 70s. But these brothers have taken and redid all of those slides, and they just look stunning and beautiful. They did that, as far as I know, they did it unsolicited and put it all together. They sent them to us at the Grand Lodge. We looked through them, and I was just blown away. And so those are uploaded into the portal now. You can go up there and download the PowerPoints that have all of those new slides in them for all 3 degrees right now in the portal. And if you go, I believe it's, I look at my notes here, it's in the, there's a section in resources, and that section is called official rituals and ceremonies. And then inside of that, you'll see the section for the degree slides. We have done a little bit of cleaning up and organizing of the things that are in the portal there. Rick has jumped in there, the Grand Secretary has jumped in there and cleaned a lot of that up. So hopefully some things will be easier to find. The old slides might still be there. So if you see the section that says ritual slides, like right off the bat, and you go in there and it's the old ones, they might not have been removed yet. But we just put the new ones in that official rituals and ceremonies section. So go check them out. Share them with your lodge. I know you guys are going to want to use them because they really are good, and it'll bring us into the 21st century here for our candidates who are coming in and watching these slide programs. So, and if you get a chance, if you see Hal Bloss or you see Paul Maglinger, thank them for that work, because it really was a stellar job, and so appreciate those guys for doing that. I got another thing that I'd like to share with you that is up on the portal. It's a new program that I developed with a gentleman up here, actually. Justin Miller had kind of inspired this program, and we got it put together. I think it was Justin Miller. Robert Easton, correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure Justin's last name is Miller. But he had mentioned an idea for a program, and as soon as he mentioned it, it exploded in my head as something that we really had to do and we had to put together. And so we're calling it the Order of Acacia. And I'll just tell you the overview of that real quick. So the Order of Acacia, which is going to be, it's available right now up in the portal. The Order of Acacia is a craft club that is to be organized within a Masonic lodge for the purpose of preserving and promoting the funeral presentation for our departed brethren. Its primary focus is to offer a comfortable place where a brother can be mentored while learning the funeral presentation. And it creates a tiered system where brothers can learn the funeral presentation in the familiar setting of his lodge at their own pace with the brothers that they trust. And then that tiered system provides recognition awards as they progress, which builds awareness to the order if they wear those things of recognition around. So, and also the Order of Acacia could operate as a secondary function of maintaining the list of widows in the lodges and their contact information, and maybe maintaining regular contact with the funeral homes so that they know who to call if they get somebody who's come in and has passed away and they're a Mason. But the idea is to revitalize our brethren in being able to know and present the funeral presentation. And so the way it will work is if there's a gentleman in your lodge that already knows the funeral lecture, he can kind of take control of this as the president of the Order of Acacia in the lodge. And he sort of becomes the guy that's sort of running the craft club. You get a brother to work as secretary just so that you can keep records of the club's actions and that sort of thing. And then you bring in mentors who are proficient in the funeral presentation to mentor other brethren on how to learn it. And the first level, so if I'm a guy and I say I want to learn the funeral lecture, I'm a Levite, okay? So they're going to bring it because Levi was the first person to discover the grave. And so you're a Levite, you want to learn the funeral lecture, so you come in and you become a member of the craft club and you get a lapel pin. And that lapel pin looks like this. Now this is printed a little large so that you can see it, but this is the design of the lapel pin. So if you belong to the Order of Acacia as a Levite and you're practicing and learning the lecture, you will get a lapel pin that looks like this. Once you get to be proficient in the funeral lecture, and your mentors in the lodge say, yep, you know it, you're good to go, you're proficient in it, then you get a breast jewel, and you become the second tier, which we're calling a Tyrian, because Hiram of Tyre supported King Solomon in all of his work. So the guys who know the funeral lecture then get this breast jewel that they can wear for the Order of Acacia. So if you become a member of the craft club, you work with your brethren, and you learn the funeral presentation, and they say you're proficient, then you can get a breast jewel to wear that acknowledges the fact that you're proficient in the funeral lecture. And then if you perform the funeral presentation for a brother, for a deceased brother, if you go to the funeral home and you perform it, then that progresses you to the third level, which makes you a son of Solomon, and you get a collar jewel that looks like this. And then you can wear that collar jewel when you perform funeral lectures. You can wear it around just as an acknowledgement that you are one who does that funeral lecture, and maybe encourage other brethren to get involved in the Order of Acacia and start learning it. And so, all of this is geared towards just getting back to having many, many people across the state that can do this, because the funeral presentation, as it's often said, is the last thing we can do for our brothers and the first thing that we can do for their bereaved family. And that's a duty that we owe to each other. And I want to get that back sort of rolling. And so, what this really does is, I think a lot of guys are intimidated by the fact that I don't want to learn that funeral lecture. I'll never be able to give it in front of a family or whatnot. This gives you the opportunity to learn it in lodge, in a structured setting where you can practice it with your brothers and guys who do it in front of families, and they can guide you through it until you're ready. And then when you're ready, you can progress to that next level. So hopefully you guys will see that as a good program. Again, it's in the program section on the portal. You go into Grand Lodge Resources, into the program section, and they're alphabetical, I think. So all the way at the bottom is the Order of Acacia. You can download the file that talks all about it, shows the jewels, share it with your lodge, talk about it, and see if it's something that you might like to do. I would really like to see that. The pins, jewels, and all that are coming. They should be in very soon, and I'll get those to the Grand Lodge office. And when you start a club, basically it outlines all this in the paper, but when you start an Order of Acacia, you would petition the Grand Master and say, we want to start it. We give you permission. Once you have permission, then when those guys progress, you just call the Grand Lodge and we'll send you the jewel, the pin, or whatever it is that they've attained. No cost. At least for now, no cost on any of that. It's just something we're providing. It's something that I'm making available personally so that we can get that rolling and make it happen. So hopefully you guys like it. I think it'll be cool. So spread it around. The lodge liaisons will have information on it, be available. So they'll talk about it as well. So hopefully that's something that you guys find some value in. Coming up for June, we're getting ready to head into June. Tomorrow's June 1st. I think I'm going to be down at Indianapolis Lodge tomorrow. I got invited there by Terry Bisping to come down and just sit with them in lodge and maybe make a couple comments. So I'm looking forward to that. And then we've got the Grand Lodge of Wisconsin is on the 4th and the 5th. I think Senior Grand Warden Jerry Maple and I are going to be attending that. I got to look at the details, but I think we're going there. And then on the 6th, we're going to come back from Wisconsin, and on the 6th, we're going to go down and do some rededications at Celestial Lodge and Thorntown Lodge. Two rededications in that day. And then, of course, we've got the Founding Fathers Day, America 250 event on June 19th and 20th at Compass Park. We've got the Grand Lodge of Michigan. This doesn't really involve us, but I thought I'd mention it. The Grand Lodge of Michigan is celebrating their 200th anniversary in an event that's on the 24th. And just to let you guys know, on behalf of all of the craft in Indiana, I did send them a congratulatory letter and a certificate from the Grand Lodge of Indiana, congratulating them on hitting that 200-year mile marker. It's a big deal. So if you guys know anybody who's a brother in Michigan, congratulate them on making 200 years. That's a big deal. So we crossed that line. I think it was 2018, I believe, 2018, 2019, 2019, I think. Yeah, so that's a big deal. So I just thought I'd mention that. On the 24th, they're going to have a big event up there celebrating their 200th anniversary. And then lastly, the Feast of St. John the Baptist. If any of the lodges out there celebrate or go to a church service for the Feast of St. John the Baptist, we're kind of officially declaring that to be, for the fraternity, to be on June 28th. We generally try to put it on a Sunday closest to the Baptist Day. I believe the Baptist Day is a Wednesday this year. And if we were to do it the Sunday before, that would back up against the Founding Fathers Day event. and so we moved it to the 28th, to the Sunday after. So if you are planning on doing a celebration with your lodge, then please, observe that on June 28th. So, couple little more things. So we've got. I want to do a quote of the week. I thought I would share this with you. I like the quote of the week thing. It's nice. This is a quote that comes from W.L. Wilmshurst, Masonic author, and I believe this was written in 1922. I like to talk about things that steer us towards understanding that Freemasonry is much deeper than it appears on its surface. And I think that this quote it's kind of a passage more than a quote, but it speaks to that. So, and it says, "For Masonry means this, or it means nothing worth the serious pursuit of thoughtful men. Nothing that can't be pursued as well as outside the craft as within it. It proclaims the fact that there exists a higher and more secret path of life than that which we normally tread, and that when the outer world and its pursuits and rewards lose their attractiveness for us and prove insufficient for our deeper needs, as they sooner or later will, we are compelled to turn back upon ourselves, to seek and knock at the door of the world within. And it is upon this inner world and the path to and through it that Masonry promises light, charts the way, and indicates the qualifications and conditions of progress. This is the sole aim and intention of Masonry." So, Wilmshurst in 1922 also felt that there was a much deeper significance to Freemasonry than what it is on the surface. And of course, I think we all know that, but it's good to be reminded of that on occasion. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that quote. I actually did a giveaway last week, and I forgot to announce it. We had a winner of one of my Grandmaster's coins, and if I remember correctly, it was Monty Thurman, and I think I sent him a message and told him I would get that sent out to him here really soon. So I think that we're going to do another one today, and it looks like our winner today is Herb Dietrich. Herb Dietrich, congratulations! You are a lucky winner of one of the Grandmaster's Challenge coins, and it's got got two fancy sides to it with some interesting stuff on there. So I will get this out to you, Herb, and Monty. I will get this out to you, and thank you guys for tuning in and being a part of it. This is a fun thing to do, actually, and maybe I'm getting a little better at it. So, gentlemen, that's all I have for you today. I think I've kept you maybe even a little bit more than a half hour. Again, you've kind of heard we're going to be running around doing a lot of stuff. I hope I get an opportunity to see you while we're out and traveling around and at the lodges. Please, if you're in the area, come to the rededications that we do, or the installations that we do, or the events that we have, just so I have an opportunity to shake your hand and get to meet you. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to seeing you on the road, and thank you all for keeping Freemasonry alive and well in the state of Indiana. So take care, and I will see you next Sunday. Thanks.